Yo, what is going on, guys? J.Yumeko here, and today we're back with some more The House in Fata Morgana. So, last time we left off, we finally kind of wrapped up the whole retelling of Michael's story, and lo and behold, as yours truly accurately predicted, Giselle didn't actually say that we were disgusting. That was a complete fabrication made up by Morgana, and Giselle is still our main girl. Alright. So, now Giselle is basically asking us, like, hey man, you were the light to my world. Now it's time to be the same thing to hers. So, we're gonna, I don't know if we're gonna kill Morgana, liberate Morgana, something along such lines. Let's jump right on back into it. Confrontation, here we go. Giselle. Reality fades back into view. I'm looking at neither the endless, eroding darkness nor the visions of my past, but the sea of blood spreading in all directions. I'm standing at the top of the observation tower outside the door. I've returned. Back in Morgana's world. Her bitter, hate-filled, curse-fueled world. To tell you the truth, I didn't see this coming. This is my mansion. My domain. She was supposed to be locked up, but it would seem my will is not as absolute as I had thought. What would you call that? The power of love? Is that what allowed this to happen? How trite. Where's the magic, the miracle? I can think of one other reason she was able to escape, and it's the only way we'll be able to find the power we need to cast off the darkness of this house. But first, before we do anything else, we must open this door. Whatever nonsense that woman filled your head with, it certainly seems to have put some fight in those eyes. Well, good for you, my dear. A little confidence boost doesn't erase the fact that you were on the ground, crawling through the filth like a worm, tears streaming down your face as you tried to ignore what lay before you. A little self-esteem isn't going to make you any less helpless when you step through that door. But that won't stop me from trying. I'm done acting like you're some inevitability, some force of nature. It's time for me to take a stand, Morgana. Let's do it. Boss fight, here we come. The air around the door has a distinct chill to it as I place my hand against the wood surface. My arms, once bloody and lacerated, are now whole again. I can feel my entire body, everything back in its rightful place. I take in a breath, lift my head, focus my gaze on the door, and push it open. Resting on the back of my hand, I can feel another palm, soft and warm. Through the single window sitting high atop the wall shines a ray of light. A black butterfly flutters within the beam. Its form is distinct, wavering like a mirage as it slowly descends to the tower floor. And then, from within the darkness, a person appears. Oh, hey, that's our girl. It's Morgana. Is that you, Morgana? How does it feel to finally meet the real thing, my dear? I knew you were young, but you really are still a child. Having heard her tale, I know she died still a girl, and I know how she came to bear so much hatred for the world. But knowing and seeing are two very different things. The sight of her bony, adolescent body is a painful reminder that she had never had a chance to know happiness, to know adulthood, before being robbed of her life. I had assumed monster would be your first reaction, with a face and a body like this. How very sweet of you, Michael. So tell me, what exactly do you mean to do now that you're here? Your ultimate goal was, as I understood it, to take Giselle back. But she's no longer here for me to return to you. She broke out of my cage, and exhausted what remained of her soul to show herself to you. I cannot perceive even a trace of her presence any longer, so I presume her soul shattered, dissipated into nothing. No, she's right here beside me. Is that so? You seem to believe as much anyway, which only makes your presence here a bigger mystery. Ah, I know. You want revenge. I made you miserable while you were alive, and I continue to torment you in death. You entrusted me with Giselle's life, and I used her for my own ends. You must despise me. Hatred fills you. You want to curse me, to kill me. My death could well mean the end of all of this. Shall I grant you that wish? She flicks a finger, and the next second a longsword clatters to the floor at my feet. Take the blade in your hands, and like the knight of old who executed the witch, pierce my heart with it. Do now what should have happened then. You always wanted to be a knight, didn't you? Go on. Pick it up. Show me your revulsion, my dear. Morgana, I do have a reason for being here. So loud. I came to save you. Did you hit your head on the way out? You came to save who? I spent so long trying to look away, when I should have been trying to look deeper. To tell you the truth, your constant chattering in the darkness evoked more than annoyance in me. I empathized with your loneliness. I bear no hatred for you. It was my despair that brought you back to life, so that makes it my responsibility to end this. My own wish has given me all the redemption I need, my dear. Or should I be expecting another self-righteous lecture about how hatred does you no good? Brilliant, Michael. Brilliant! Do you have any idea how absurdly presumptuous you're being? Trying to force your idea of redemption onto someone who has no interest in it. If the tale you showed me was the whole truth, then I would have said you could revile those heartless men as much as you pleased. But I refuse to believe that's the whole story. The men I saw beyond the first 3 doors had genuine concerns and worries. They felt things, real human emotions, even if those things ultimately led them down a path of destruction. Wanting to do something nice for the one you care about, being disgusted at the things you've done, hiding your urges from those around you. You certainly couldn't call them good men, but they were real people with real conflicts. So you're saying I'm lying? Well, I can't blame you. Who would believe the word of a witch? I don't think you falsified your account, Morgana. The tragedy, no, the grisly reality you described, I don't doubt any of that happened. You wouldn't be here otherwise. But I've learned something in my years. Reality exists from more than one perspective. That doesn't change what happened. That two-faced young man deceived me, the beast severed my arm, and the greedy, power-hungry lord used me for his own personal gain. Events by themselves do not tell the whole story. Only when you take into account their circumstances, what they thought and felt, their perspectives, only then can you say that you've reached the truth. Your point being? Are you going to march down to their souls and ask them for their perspective? Don't waste your breath. They'll only tell you what benefits themselves the most. Then we do it our way. We open the door to your past. And if I refuse? This is my domain, my world. It operates in accordance to my will. The door won't open unless I allow it to. Were you aware, Morgana, that I recovered my first memory in front of a mirror? You what? The same mirror Giselle used to practice her smile. And in all those hundreds of years, bits of her memory came to reside within it. Every time she stood before that mirror, she had me in her heart. And next, I saw one of my own memories play out in my bedchamber. It was the first day after we opened the windows, when she let the morning sun into my room. That day was a turning point in my life. And why are you telling me this? Because it means this world doesn't belong only to you. It's also hers, and mine. And that is why she was able to break free. Your wish is without question the most powerful of anyone's here, and you have more authority over this place than anyone else. There's no denying your position as master of this mansion. But Giselle and I, we too have influence over this domain. I was the one who resurrected you, and she who served as your guide. So the door will appear, whether or not it is your will. Their souls reside here as well. They may spin convenient tales, but the memories ingrained upon their souls can tell no lies. All the pieces are on the board. The door will open. Say the door does open. What does that change? Nothing those men have thought of or felt can take back what they did to me. This rotting, broken creature they turned me into. I don't care what was going through their heads. They'll never have my forgiveness. My hatred is unwavering. My wish will not be undone so easily. Their souls shall suffer for all eternity. Before we begin, Morgana, let's get one last lingering question out of the way. And what might that be? Who the white-haired girl is. That's your lingering question. We've already established that was you, Morgana. So in a desperate plea to deny you came back as a woman, you're not trying to make me into her. This is perhaps the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. That was you, my dear. Don't avert your eyes. You must face reality. I'm not averting my eyes, and I'm not in denial. I have faith. Faith that I only ever made it back to this mansion once, when I woke in the rocking chair beside the fireplace. God, this fucking game with its twists and turns. First, we have no fucking clue who it is. Then, all of a sudden, it's not Michael. Then it is Michael. Now it's not Michael again. It's actually Morgana. Good lord. And I mean that in the best of ways, might I add. Ha! Nevertheless, that hardly justifies me of being that foolish girl. How could you possibly think I was her? Never have I not been present in these walls, not even while she was alive and in the claws of tragedy. My hair's not white, nor are my eyes red, and look at this horrid, festering face. How could I ever become her? How your soul appears is irrelevant in this case, Morgana. I will uncover the truth about you, things even you don't know. And if I can show you that you were in fact the white-haired girl, in that moment will your reality be rewritten. If you're so confident, then be my guest. Find out for yourself just how little you're capable of. Blackness fills the observation tower once more. Morgana fades into the distance, leaving me alone in the dark stream. It's a darkness I've seen, felt, and been consumed by multiple times since arriving at the mansion. But this time, I welcome it, praying that beyond it lies a truth with the power to release all form from the house's grip. This next tale has no narrator. I won't sit back and listen as someone recounts the path of fate for me. No, I have to find the path for myself this time. I don't know what awaits me beyond the black, but no matter what it may be, so long as I have the power to provide redemption, I must never put down my sword. Now, let us open the door. The final door. That's like the third time it's the final door at this point now. Demon Child, complete chapter 6. The final door, again. Alright, let's get her done. I brought you some food. You have to eat something. You barely touched your food yesterday. Come on, please. Just leave it there. Her hands aren't bound. She can eat whenever she pleases. But she's not going to last much longer. The boy has a point. If she won't eat, we'll lose our supply of blood. That's not what I meant. Leave it there. Well, we'll be back. I'm guessing man 1 is the flaxen-haired boy. Man 2 is probably going to be the beast, and male 3 is going to be Jacopo. Do you really have to go? Yeah, things are pretty hectic right now. And when do you suppose you'll be back? Tomorrow. Sitting time is today. And you'll have enough time to talk then? Will you? Yeah. Are you hiding something from me? You're acting kind of funny. You're my sister. I wouldn't keep anything from you. You're not yourself, though. What's so different about me? Well, you're not acting much like a prince. Ah, right, of course. Don't worry, I'm still your prince. Same as always. Good night, Nelly, my princess. How did I end up in this mess? I never wanted this. All I wanted was a quiet life. Someone, get me out of here. Take this thing somewhere far away. Tell me, I'm not the bad one here. Oh God, I'm begging you. Just make it all go away. Someone, anyone, get me out of here. Oh, damn. Hello. Christ be with you. Look. The stars. They're beautiful. Though with it so bright out, I worry someone might see us. Everyone's long gone. I hope so. Are you ashamed? A little, but I still want to be with you. Have you ever considered leaving the convent? You can't just stop being a nun, you know. It's not that simple. I've made vows, sworn my life to the service of God. I was not aware. I don't know much about this land's traditions. Ah, this is going to be the beast. If I were to leave the church, it would have to be in my next life. I'd like to be a normal girl, lead a normal life, get married, have kids, and before I know it, I'm an old lady. Thinking, it was an uneventful life, but it was the best I could have asked for. That's my dream. And it sounds very peaceful. I'm going to change his accent up a little. I hope we can be together in our next lives too. Have a nice, quiet life together. It'll be a city on the water, looking out over a beautiful, glimmering emerald sea. The blue sky spreading as far as the eye can see. The sound of the seabirds squalling by the port. The two of us sitting shoulder to shoulder, just looking out over the city. Doesn't that sound wonderful? It certainly does. I would love that. The Harvest Festival. On the day of the festival. Oh? Who was that? 3 days until her death. Okay. We're counting down the days. Excuse me. Wake up. Please wake up. Come on. Open your eyes. Oh. Michael. Oh, who's this? So bright. I'm outside. The light feels like needles in my eyes. The first thing I see beyond the mansion's darkness is blinding light. The sun glares mercilessly overhead. A gentle breeze blows past, and I can hear birds chirping from several different directions. Each breath I take fills my lungs with the scent of earth and grass. Good lord, now we're back at it again. This fucking game, bro. I feel like this is like 5 different games jam-packed into one. We started off with, oh, here's the flaxen-haired boy. Here's the beast. Here's Jacopo. And then all of a sudden it was, oh, well, actually, here's the black-haired maid story. And then it was, oh, actually, here's Giselle's story. Oh, actually, here's, it was something like, you had Michael's story, but then it was like, oh no, that's not actually what happened, and now we're going to tell Michael's story again, and like kind of review it, and then here's, Then here's Morgana's story, and now here's Morgana's actual story. I mean, oh gee, it's just, there's so much storytelling. I sound like I'm annoyed by it, but it's just like, I'm kind of just like baffled by it at this point. I should expect it, really. I really should. This is like the 1,000th time that I've sat here like, oh yeah, we're actually about to get to the end of the game. And then it's just like, oh, nope, here's another like 5 hours of content. Anyway. So much time has passed since I've been in the light. I almost feel like I'm alive again. No, not almost. What's going on? What on earth is this? The era Morgana lived in? Michael! Huh? Oh, thank goodness, you can hear me. Good morning, Master. I hope you slept well. Giselle, is that voice really you? I swear it's me, 100%. Not that mean old phony. So don't you worry. No, I believe it's you. I just was not expecting to be able to hear you here. I did say I would always be by your side. I'm relieved. But where are you, Giselle? I can't see you anywhere. Well, I'm not exactly sure myself. You don't know? I don't know how to describe it. It's pitch black all around me, like a black smoke churning in the darkness. It feels a lot like inside the mansion, but I don't think I'm actually in the mansion. So you're still trapped in the void then? I can see a shimmering light off in the distance, through the fog, and I can hear sounds coming from that direction. It sounds like the outside world is leaking through the light. I can see the trees rustling, hear birds singing. I can't see you though, so I assumed I was seeing through your eyes, and I thought I'd try getting your attention. So that means you can see everything I can? Seems so, though I don't think I can quite see as clearly as you. I wish you could be here to feel this too. Experience it in my place even. It's a bizarre sensation. While I could see and feel the worlds through the other doors, it was strictly in the capacity of an observer. We were merely watching, not actually present in the tales. But this time, it's like I've been resurrected and dropped into the world as a participant. It's all so vivid. Everything the mansion lacked, it's all here, and I can feel it so clearly. I wish you could have been the one to experience this. It's okay, Michael. I know you'll dispel this darkness I'm in, won't you? I will. I'm more than happy just being able to hear your voice, and being able to see what you see. It's like a miracle. I too am glad to know you're there, to have the chance to hear your voice again. Thank you so much for saving me. If you hadn't shown up, I wouldn't be here. Oh no, I should be thanking you. I was overjoyed to learn how much you really cared about me. There's so many things I want to say right now. So many things I want you to know. So many thank yous, and so many I love yous. Hey now, is this really the best response you've got? Surely you can do better than that. You're embarrassing me. I am somewhat disappointed by one thing, though. I can't get any hugs or kisses since I'm not there in person. Oh, come on. You're not very good at this at all, are you? And you're not very good at picking up on how much you're embarrassing me. I'd expect at the very least to me, too. We should start by figuring out when and where exactly this is. You're not even trying, are you? I'm doing the best I can. Please don't ask me to ask any more of this. Blech. It's okay though. I might not be able to see you, but we're together anyway. You know, Michael, I think I might be able to help too. While I can't be there in person, I can give you ideas. Another point of view when you're not sure about something. With the two of us together, we'll find a way through this. Yes, we will. Where to begin? What do you say we get our bearings, list out exactly what we need to take care of? That's not a bad idea. I'm a bit frazzled at the moment, to tell you the truth. What? Why? I had assumed we would just be observers, like with the other doors, searching their memories for clues. I never expected I'd actually be thrown into their era. True, it's not at all like the other doors. No matter how the rules may change, I'm seeing this through to the end. If our guess is correct and we have arrived at Morgana's past, then we need to uncover the truth behind those events. Or rather, the three men's circumstances. What they felt. What drove them. My gut tells me there's something to be found there. There's something to be found there that even Morgana doesn't know. I could be wrong, and it's possible that even if I am right, what we find won't do anything to quell her hatred. But we won't be talking her out of it, that's for sure. Words won't break through that kind of animosity. We need something bigger. Something she could never have imagined. Something that will turn her entire worldview on its head.
The white-haired girl might be a good place to start. She showed up at the mansion again and again, as though led there by some supernatural force, and she was involved with all three of those men in some way. I can't think of anyone else with such deep ties to both the mansion and the men. But at the same time, I have a hard time convincing myself that the Morgana we know and the white-haired girl could be the same person.
They are about as different as two people can be, which actually leads me to believe there's something there.
There must be something. Some secret we haven't found out yet that we can use. So let's find it.
It won't be easy.
If we are in the past, though, I wonder, maybe we could change it. This could be a huge chance for us.
Change the past.
Yeah, we could prevent Morgana's death, or we could stop whatever led them down this path.
There's an idea. If it's actually possible, maybe we can do something. The question is this world really...
Now I'm getting kind of pumped. I've got my game face on and I'm ready to do this.
Doesn't do much good if no one can see it.
It's a figure of speech. Kate, first things first, we need to find the mansion. Morgana should be at the top of the observation tower, and the three men shouldn't be too far off either. So the question is, where are we?
Do you recognize the surroundings at all? I never really left the mansion, so I'm not especially familiar with the lay of the land.
Give me a little spin, would you?
As she requests, I slowly spin around in a circle, and through the dense woods I spot a cluster of what appears to be stone formations. Squinting to get a better look, I realize they're buildings. It's decently far off, but it appears to be the edge of a city.
I think that might be the village I stayed at for a while.
It's a bit big for a village.
Don't you remember what Amity said about the village's history?
Amity. That bastard.
Michael, you didn't think something uncharacteristically vulgar just now, did you?
Wouldn't dream of it. Yes, I remember. He said it was once much larger, and that it was destroyed in a single week by the witch's curse. Except rather than a curse, it was probably disease. If that's the same city, then it fits with what Morgana said happened.
I believe he also said something about there being a large bridge on the outskirts of the city, and that following the path from there would lead to the mansion. So let's head down to the city.
All right.
You don't sound very enthusiastic. Are you nervous that you might have to talk to someone? Don't worry, you've got me here.
Don't treat me like I'm antisocial.
You're not?
No, that's not what's bothering me. It's something about this whole thing feels off. This world we're in. Never mind. I'm probably overthinking things, but now's not the time for that. We need to get moving. Let's go. Rather than waste time fretting over details, we need to get to the mansion like she said. Everything else comes after that. With each step, I can feel the earth compressing beneath my feet, the grass flattening. As I weave my way through the trees toward the city, the sensation of having a living, flesh and blood body slowly returns. Oh.
A white-haired man just appeared out of nowhere! And he's talking to himself. I've got to get away before he does something.
Hold it right there, Mel. You don't get to call me crazy and then just run off.
How do you know my name?
How? Why wouldn't I? We were just in the mansion together.
Huh? Mansion? What are you talking about?
Right. He doesn't become the shadow in the mansion yet. I doubt I would
forget seeing someone as unusual as you. Who are you? And where did you come from?
Where? I'd like to know that myself.
Say something, Michael. He's not going to get any less suspicious of you. You have to come up with some way to break the tension.
Improvisation isn't exactly my strong suit. Oh, I was sleeping in a tree. I am God. I was sleeping in a tree. Let's be real here. Real quick, though, we'll save just in case. You never know.
It sure looked like you just popped out of nowhere.
You imagined it. It was so sudden your mind misinterpreted what you saw. Is that too much of a stretch?
Yeah, you're right. I must have been seeing things. People can't just appear out of thin air. On days like this, I'll sometimes climb a tree and take a nap too. And then I'll roll over and fall flat on my face. So I can relate. Michael, napping in a tree. I can't even imagine it.
Me neither. Also, it would seem that, like Morgana, I'm the only one who can hear Giselle's voice.
But that doesn't explain how you know my name.
You know, you look a lot like an acquaintance of mine. Imagine my surprise when it turns out you have the same name, too.
That's definitely pushing it. Oh, yeah, that happens to me every now and then, too. Jeez, you had me spooked for a second there.
Well, on one hand, I'm glad he bought it. I feel perhaps he's a little too trusting.
He's the kind of guy who just keeps walking on when he runs across something out of the ordinary, pretending he didn't see a thing.
Not the most admirable of traits, but we're in the clear.
I assume you're from the city then, if you're out here.
Actually, no. I'm, a wanderer of sorts.
Oh? Huh. Did you come by to see the Harvest Festival then?
A harvest festival?
You don't know about it then? 3 days from now, we're holding a festival at the church to celebrate the spring harvest.
3 days. Morgana died when the bell tolled noon on the day of the festival, which means she's got that much time left.
This will be the first time we've held the festival, so we're hoping to make it into a big event, something really memorable.
And a young girl is dying behind the scenes of this seemingly pleasant celebration.
If her death is 3 days from now, that might give us enough time to do something about it.
See, okay, a couple things. First off, if we change the past, it's one of those things where it's like, alright, say we do change the past, right? So, we save Morgana, she never ends up becoming a witch and, reviving and fucking with us. I mean, it kind of throws you into one of those classic time loops where it's like, if it's like, okay, if the Michael and Giselle we're seeing save Morgana now, let me explain this. This is so confusing. It's one of those things where it's like, Michael and Giselle as they are now would never exist if Morgana didn't become the witch. So if they make it to where Morgana never became the witch and saved her from that fate, they would have never existed, meaning that they could have never saved Morgana. So then Morgana would have become the witch, but if, it's just this, continuous loop of, oh, but then this happens, and then because that happens, yada, yada, yada. You get what I'm trying to say. I'm stretching this on. Anyways, so there's that, for one. Also, I also want to mention how they were saying, if we see their circumstances, it might change perspectives a little bit. I mean... Because what? The Flax... I mean, it feels like... It seems like the Flaxen-haired boy just kind of sold Morgana out, took her arm for his sister, and then pretty much gave her up to the Lord and the Beast. So that kind of seems... I feel like they're really going to have to pull some amazing story writing to justify these guys. So we'll see. Could I ask you to show me the way to the church? I would like to join in on the festivities.
Sure, yeah. Of course. The church's doors are open to all, friends and family and wanderers alike. It's not far. Follow me.
Thank you. It didn't occur to me until now. This really is a strange experience. This is a boy from a completely different time period who I would have never had the opportunity to meet. If he's here, then presumably the other two are as well, which means Morgana's wish for their reconstruction was actually granted. This Mel doesn't seem like any different person than the one I observed at the first door. Yet he played a part in Morgana's imprisonment. I have trouble believing he would voluntarily involve himself, though.
I was scared for a minute there. That could have gone a lot worse. Plus, we managed to make contact with Mel in record time.
She's interacted with him, and the others before, so I guess this doesn't feel as strange to her.
You don't want to hear him talking to yourself again. That's why you're not saying anything to me, isn't it?
Actually, I think I can talk to you without speaking. Can you hear me?
How are you doing that?
I have a lot of experience talking to ghosts.
That really drives home how bizarre things were for you in that mansion.
Were you not in similar circumstances when it was you and Morgana together?
Yeah, now that you mention it. What a bizarre time we both had in that mansion.
You're just now realizing this. So, what's your impression of him?
My impression? That he's the same Mel as always?
In a little more detail?
He's an amicable young man. Nice enough to show a complete stranger around.
I agree. In Morgana's version of the story, he betrayed her. But he doesn't seem like the kind of person who would enthusiastically do something so malicious.
He had to have some kind of reason.
And we need to figure out what that was. The question is, how do we go about it? We hardly have enough time to earn his trust and convince him to tell us himself. I'll just have to put the knowledge I already have to good use.
Oh, that reminds me.
Something that might explain it?
No, about Morgana. When you were alive, she was always right there with you, like I am now, right?
Whenever it struck her fancy, yes. She didn't seem to care when or where, she would just start talking whenever she felt like it.
Whenever?
For the most part, yes. Anytime she wanted. Giselle?
You don't have to worry about that with me. I know when to keep my mouth shut, promise.
What?
You say you feel like you're alive again, right?
My 5 senses all seem to be in working order.
Which means you'll also be getting hungry, tired, sleepy, and you'll have to go to the bathroom. I'll be polite and close my eyes and plug my ears while you're doing it.
Thanks? What would possess her to bring that up? Does she even realize what she's saying?
Oh gosh, now I'm as red as a tomato.
That answers that. Moving right along. We need to discuss how we're going to go about this.
Pause! He said that we know that Michael has like nothing down, like it's smooth down there as far as we're concerned. So it's like, assuming he has an anus, how does that work when he needs to like, pee or whatever? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of this man. That's all I'm trying to do. Anyways. Right, that.
The Harvest Festival is our deadline, which doesn't give us much time. We need to plan for when we arrive at the mansion.
How about we spill their secret? Tell everyone about the girl they've got locked up in the tower and force them to set her free. Surely they wouldn't stand for that.
Perhaps, but would anyone believe me? If I walked in and said I came from the future and that I know what's going to happen, would anyone actually buy that?
Sure, with enough convincing.
Yeah, we're gonna get another fucking put him up on the cross and burn him alive moment. Even if I did manage to convince him, the tower door was locked in Morgana's rendition of the tale. You need 3 keys to get inside. Mel should have one of them, but stealing his alone won't be enough to get into the tower.
True.
If Giselle's right and we can save Morgana and change the future, then that would indeed solve everything. But something about this whole situation still doesn't sit right with me. I have to do more than just set her free of that tower. I have to find the truth as well, as I initially set out to do. Regardless, I would like to try and stay on everyone's good side as much as possible for now.
Okay, I'll do whatever I can to help.
I appreciate it. I mean, as you know, conversation is not exactly my strong suit.
Which means it's my job to hit the brakes whenever you say something stupid.
It's a bit too late if I've already said it.
Anyway, Step wanted to get ourselves into the mansion. We can't hope to make contact with the other two men, much less get Morgana out of there if we're not staying nearby.
I'll do what I can.
We're almost there. See the big building in the distance? That's the church.
It is the same mansion as I suspected.
Seeing it now, knowing what horrible things happened there, is so disheartening.
Are happening as we speak. In the tower we see in the distance. Morgana's locked up all alone.
I wish we could just march in there and set her free.
If getting into the tower were our only goal, we could probably force our way in with a little work.
Is something the matter?
No, I could probably overpower him and get his key.
Hello?
But the other two, that most certainly wouldn't work for.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, sorry, I was lost in thought.
Seems kind of strange, doesn't it?
What does?
I mean, it doesn't look very much like a church. At a glance, you'd think it was some noble's estate.
So it does. I've spent so long there, it never even occurred to me.
I was pretty surprised when I first saw it myself. A peculiar place, all told. There's a chapel inside the mansion with this gorgeous stained glass window. It's quite the sight.
Do you know why it was built like that?
I'm, not actually sure myself, no. Anyway, I'll show you to the chapel. The Saintess should be there too, so I can introduce you.
The Saintess?
You've never heard of her? Everyone around here knows her. She's a nun at the church, and everyone calls her the Saintess. She's practically her own religious figure.
Oh, he's not talking about Morgana.
You'll just have to see for yourself.
Wasn't there another person who came in? I forget, but I'm pretty sure when Morgana was telling her story, there was some girl who came in and like dethroned her place as a saintess or something like that. Maybe this is the one they're talking about.
Come on.
All right. And my theory is that well clearly the beast is who is trying to get with the how do you say, the nun, because when we were in that little flash point with when we were talking with the nun, the mysterious man mentioned that, oh, I'm not from these lands. I'm not familiar with this land's traditions. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna be our guy, the beast. On our way to the mansion, we passed through a courtyard of sorts. When I lived here, the area was overgrown with weeds. Apparently, they keep it in better condition in this era. Following Mel's lead, we head through the chapel entrance. Oh my. I'm at a loss for words when I see what lies on the other side of those all too familiar doors. While it was barely recognizable as a place of worship in my memory, just 2 columns of battered pews and some piles of rubble, the room I'm looking at now is unequivocally a chapel.
So this is what it used to look like.
I wonder how far back this is from when we lived.
It has to be more than a decade or two. Maybe 100 years, or more.
The views and beliefs about the world prevalent in our time are not so different than those of this time. Perhaps the chapel was destroyed in the aftermath of the Harvest Festival. When I was first entered the mansion, there were signs that repairs had been attempted.
The stained glass windows behind the pulpit. I'm guessing I'm guessing we can't see it from here.
And right next to it is the door to the observation tower.
Ah, there she is. There's no priest here. She runs the church. You'll want to talk to her first if you're planning to participate in the Harvest Festival. I'll go fetch her for you.
Whisking his way between the pews, the boy disappears into the back of the chapel, returning with a nun in tow. When I see her, my face twists for a brief moment.
Good afternoon. You came to the festival, I hear. It's wonderful to have you. Is that who I think it is?
I'm all but certain at this point that all the major players from behind the 3 doors are present here. Not just the 3 men whose shadows remain in the mansion, but also the women who are important parts of their lives. Though dressed differently, the way she speaks and the way she holds herself resembles the woman killed by her lover behind the second door. The woman killed by the lover behind the second door. Oh, yeah, no, of course they're talking about her. Fucking, oh god, what was her name? It was like Penelope or something like that. Paula? It might have been Paula.
They're all connected. What we thought was that 3 separate tales all stretch back to a single point in time before our own. Is there something the matter?
No, I was just thinking how unusual it is for one nun to be managing an entire church by herself.
Ah, yes, that's usual reaction from new visitors. Even I think this assignment is a bit over my head.
Assignment?
Ah, well, I was at another church before this one, a smaller building, and I wasn't the only nun. But the Lord of the Land offered me to transfer to a new, large church he was opening. So here I am.
The Lord.
There's plenty of space on the property, more than enough to provide shelter for orphan children and aid for the sick.
It seems rather vacant from what I've seen.
Yes, about that. We used to take people in, but circumstances have been made difficult of late.
What kind of circumstances?
It's not something I can discuss with an outsider. Sorry.
I'm guessing it has to do with Morgana's imprisonment here.
Do you think she knows about Morgana?
I would guess not. The men sort of keep it between the 3 of them.
So she's being forced to oversee the mansion, completely oblivious of what's happening here.
Which isn't to say she's not connected to it in some way. If she's the girl from the second tale, then she should be close with...
Is something troubling you?
No, my apologies. I got lost in thought.
You don't look it, but you're actually a bit of a daydreamer, aren't you?
Daydreamer?
Mel would fit that description much better.
Mel would fit that description much better.
What? Why? Do I really look like that much of an airhead? Oh, I can see that. Someone has to watch out for him, or he's likely to lose his head in the clouds. I really don't think I'm that spacey. I'm not trying to say you're spacey. I just feel like I've got to keep one eye on you at all times. It's a lot like what I imagine having a little brother would be like.
I am an oldest child, you know.
What's the big deal? You don't want a big sister. Well, I want you to be my little brother.
I don't want to be just a capital S sister to you. Oh, wait, what?
I don't just want to be a capital S sister to you. That's so stiff and formal. No, I want to be your sister.
I'm a little old to be playing make-believe.
Oh, come on.
They're quite friendly with one another, it would seem.
Oh, I know. Why don't you become her brother then?
What?
Will you?
I will not. Besides, I'm clearly the oldest one here.
Why not? I don't think it matters who's older than who. You don't really act all that old anyway.
I have at least 10 years on you.
Your youngest child insecurity is growing. Showing.
Insecurity?
You two are pretty good friends, huh?
We can discuss the veracity of that claim later. I would like to ask you a favor.
What is it? I'll gladly help you with anything I can.
Could I perhaps borrow a room until the day of the Harvest Festival? I don't have anywhere to stay, or a source of income for that matter. I know it would be taking advantage of your generosity, but I only mean to intrude for a few days.
I would be more than happy to offer you a place to stay at any other time. But right now, I can't let you stay here. I'm so sorry.
Well, damn. So much for that.
Don't let one little no stop you. Keep pushing. Put on a show. Earn her sympathy. She's a lady of the cloth. If you make her feel bad for you, she'll offer you her aid.
Put on a show? You want me to act? I'm having another episode, and I was so sure this church would be able to help.
That's not going to convince anyone.
Quiet, you.
He was perfectly fine on our walk here. Shut your mouth, boy. As I said, we did once offer a place of respite for the alien and needy, but regrettably, for the time being, we're unable to take anyone in. What I can't do, though, is give you medicine. Since we can't let people stay here, with the Lord's generous assistance, we've been handing out medicine instead.
So all you do here, then, is give people medication?
Yes, I suppose that's what it boils down to. I'm honestly not sure why we're not allowed to offer shelter right now, but we are still able to provide assistance to those in need, so I assume it's just a temporary measure. We'll have to take people, and we'll be able to take people in again before too long. And without what she's done for the church, it's not really my place to complain about his decisions. I truly am sorry. I hope you understand. I'm supposed to ask for a tithe in exchange normally, but just this once it's yours, free of charge.
Could you tell me more about this medication, please?
It's called Saint's Blood, and it'll cure any disease.
Saint's blood?
It's not real blood, of course. That's just what it's called. It just sounds divine, doesn't it?
No, that's not true.
Huh?
It is real blood.
What do you... sorry to butt in. Do you mind if I bring him back to my room? I don't think I mentioned it, but he's an old friend of mine. We've got a lot of catching up to do. Alright. Hey, come on, this way.
Oh?
Well, that sure got quite the reaction out of him. And now he's incredibly leery of you.
When she mentioned the blood, I couldn't stop myself. I probably should have kept my mouth shut, though. Mel doesn't say a word the entire way. His smile has retreated, and there's a hint of fear lurking beneath his now stony expression. I spend the trek through the mansion's corridors pondering how to answer the questions I know are coming, how to solve the problem I put myself in. We enter a bedroom, presumably his, and he closes the door behind us. I can see the distrust in his eyes as he glares at me. Ow, my arm. Ow.
I have to ask, who exactly are you? Why did you say that back there? And that Saint's blood is actual blood?
In response to his pressing, I tell him everything or tread carefully? Alright, well, we're saving here, obviously. Huh. Okay, let's break down our options here. Let's say we tell him everything. Mel is... I mean, as Giselle described, Mel, I feel like, is a little bit more susceptible to our ramblings, right? I feel like if we could convince any of these three men that we are from the future and are here to stop what's going on, I feel like the one we could most easily convince would be Mel. So, presumably if we tell him everything, we'd be like, oh yeah, well, Morgana's gonna die, she's gonna pretty much curse all of you to an eternity of suffering and damnation, and we've come from the future to stop that. And I don't necessarily, but the thing is, I don't know what would necessarily happen if we decided to tread carefully either. I'm really tempted to just tell him everything. I really think that we could probably get through to Mel, because I'm trying to think of what tread carefully would really insinuate. Like, would that just mean us being like, oh, well, we know what's going on, we're here to stop it, right? Well, we're saved. I'm gonna go ahead and go with my gut. I'm gonna tell him everything. I know Mel feels immense remorse about his involvement in Morgana's imprisonment, so I decide it's best to tell him everything. His shade in the mansion begged for me to save him. If he knows what I know, maybe this Mel will seek my help as well. Perhaps I'm being rash, but it's worth a shot. Alright, I'll tell you everything. It might sound crazy, but I promise you, everything I am about to tell you is the truth. I'm not from this time.
What?
I have come here from a point in time after Morgana's death.
How do you know about?
I know everything. Morgana told me what happened here and what will happen here. You and the 2 other men imprisoned her at the top of the observation tower, eventually leading to her death. At this point in time, she should still be alive, but she will not be for much longer. When the bell tolls noon on the day of the Harvest Festival, Morgana's life will come to an end. And when she dies, she will do so in the grips of overwhelming hatred. A hatred that will transform her soul into a true witch. The 3 of you will become the targets of that hatred, the targets of her curse, and by the power of that curse, you will be drawn back to this place in your next lives, where great suffering and misery awaits you.
Everything you're saying is going right over my head. Our next lives, her soul, witch.
Every word of it is true. Did anything I say contradict your experiences? The 3 of you have Morgana imprisoned in the tower. You drain her of her lifeblood, which you then claim is a medicine called Saint's Blood, which you give out in exchange for tithes. Am I wrong about any of that? I'm here to save Morgana, to set her free of that tower and her hatred. Excuse me. Which will, consequently, set your souls free as well. I know you're not proud of what you've done. Lend me your hand in freeing Morgana, and tell me your story. Tell me how you came to be involved in her imprisonment. This is not the path you wish to take, I'm certain of that. You wanted blood for your sister, yes, but you're not the kind of man who would think severing another's arm was acceptable. You had to have some kind of reason for it. Please, give me your assistance. Tell me your tale. Saving her will save you, too. I only want what's best for you.
Could you give me a moment? This is all so sudden, I'm having trouble wrapping my head around it. But I do get one thing, that you know what we've been doing. Give me some time to process it. I'll have an answer for you tonight. Please, I'll make the right decision. I just need time to convince myself.
I understand.
Wait here until I come back, would you? It's almost sundown, so it shouldn't be long. Tonight I'll tell you what I can. Once I've made sense of everything, I'm sure I'll be able to shake hands. So just relax here for a bit.
I'll be waiting.
Thanks. See you tonight.
I don't trust that. I think we fucked up. I think he's gonna go tell the beast and the Lord, and then they're gonna come in here and fucking kill us. God fucking damn it. I'm so glad I saved.
Well, he seemed to believe it.
Thankfully. I was worried he wouldn't.
I knew he wasn't happy being a part of this. He desperately wanted out. And you gave him that opportunity.
I can only hope.
He said he'd help. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt and see what happens when he comes back.
Perhaps I'm just being paranoid, but it feels that went over too easily. No, I made the right decision. Fuck! We fucked up, didn't we?
Hello, are you there? May I come in?
You may.
Sorry it took so long.
Not at all. You said it would be night when... Yep. Here we go.
What?
Is this the man?
Never seen him before.
You.
It's them.
What is the meaning of this smell? Fuck! Fuck! I fucked up! Where did you get your information?
Michael.
I came from the future. In my time, Morgana's already dead. I'm here to set her free, to erase... You spilled it, Mel, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Why do you think I would tell him? Why do you think I told you about him? So that you didn't... So you know it didn't come from me. I can't believe he...
Mel, how could you? What happened to everything you said earlier? That you would make the right decision. That you would help.
You two friends? For the thousandth time, I met him in the forest this afternoon. I'd never seen him before then.
But who told him? It wasn't me. I have nothing to gain from talking.
True enough. He's just messed up in the head. That has to be it. He has all these crazy delusions. Souls turning into witches, the next life. He's mad, I tell you. I thought he believed us.
Mel, am I wrong that you feel remorse? Am I wrong that you don't want to be involved in this? You shouldn't be adding to your list of wrongdoings. No, you should be doing what was right and let Morgana go. Are you sure you're not friends?
I swear to God, if he was a friend, why would I snitch on him?
You're not one to let friendship get in the way of what you truly desire.
I would never. Michael, we have to get out of here.
If he so much as twitches like he's going to run, cut him in half.
Michael.
Maybe you'll come to your senses if you know exactly how what you're doing will affect your next lives. Morgana comes to bear such incredible loathing for each of you that the people you care for,
who pray tell lives life fearing how it will affect their next.
You are right, he's out of his mind. Listen, you chose the wrong man for your little sermon. Next life, souls. God damn it. How can I get them to believe me? I've seen it all, but they don't have any of those memories. How can I convince them to believe something that hasn't even happened to them yet? How can I get them to release Morgana? How can I save her?
Michael, please, you have to run. You're in danger here.
I would love to, but the door's blocked. So tell me, who told you about Morgana? Morgana herself. Who told you? I'm telling the truth. I know what I know because she told me. I suppose it doesn't matter where you got your information. Getting rid of you still means only one less person who knows.
Michael!
Kill him.
Don't.
Can I play with him first? No, do it quickly. I'm tired of listening to this madman's ramblings.
No, please don't do this. We're only here to save your souls. Because we believed you weren't truly evil. So why?
Oh, alright. I'm not happy about it, though. You're putting more than just your next lives at risk. You'll lose the people you care about in this life, too. People are going to die on the day of the Harvest Festival. Many people are going to die. You may be able to avoid that if you set her free, and also change your own fates as well. I can't listen to this anymore. Kill this madman now!
Don't, please! I'm begging you, don't!
It really is a damned shame. I was hoping I could have some fun with you.
Michael!
Alright, yeah, he fucking kills us. Son of a fucking bitch. Alright. You know what? I mean, I feel like obviously telling him everything is going to backfire on us and he's going to go tell his other goons and he's going to get us killed. Let's go ahead and tread carefully this time. That's what I'm going to say in the next episode because we're going to go ahead and end it off here. So let's go ahead and return to the entry. Okay. Oh, son of a biscuit. So here we are yet again, traversing down yet another path for this game. When will it end? I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, here's my prediction, right? We're going to go through all this. We're going to quote unquote save Morgana. But then it turns out Morgana actually wasn't the white-haired girl, and that the white-haired girl was actually the witch Morgana that was trying to fool Morgana into believing she was the witch Morgana when she wasn't actually the witch Morgana, and then we actually just released the real witch Morgana, and then we have to go through then we're going to have to go back and see the whole life path of the actual white-haired girl who's actually the witch Morgana in order to then maybe, possibly, probably not get to the end of the game. That's my predictions. Okay, actually for real though, this game just never fails to impress me with how it fucking pulls this shit out of thin goddamn air. I mean, and again, I really truly mean that in the best of ways. So, basically, we can't fucking trust anyone. I would honestly say that our toughest opponent right now is really going to be the Lord. Because the Lord doesn't really have anybody that he actually gives a shit about as far as we understand. Mel has a sister that we can leverage. The swordsman, aka the beast, has the nun that we can leverage. But we don't really have anything to leverage against the Lord. But again, I'm thinking, hey, if we get the firepower on us, like at this point, the Lord is the mastermind, the swordsman is the firepower, and Mel is basically just a grunt, right? So if we can get the firepower on our side, using the leverage that we have with the nun, then I think it's not so out of reach that we could then get Mel fully on our side and threaten the Lord into cooperating with us as well. That's kind of my vision on this, but this is definitely something that's going to be pretty fucking difficult to pull off, considering I feel like the swordsman and the Lord those two are inherently fucking terrible people, and Mel is unfortunately being dragged along and slowly kind of melded into their own mindset. But hey, that's going to be it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video and tell me in the comment section below what you'd like to see me play next. If you enjoyed this video or any other videos or series on my channel, then I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when one of those videos comes out. Anyways, that's it for me, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!